I remember visiting her on vacation in Spokane every time that she left there. And I always call her Pris. Remember, I used to hand my mother referred to her as Aunt Pris before around sometime. My children called her Aunt Pris. At least one of them had trouble with the R, so we thought that was kind of funny. I know that my sister made friends, and my sister loves singing in the choir, and I was always amazed that she taught in Orleans, France, and in Hong Kong, and that was a long time ago. Yet she still keeps friends from that era. She kept friends from her school days. It always amazed me. It seemed like if she made a friend, it was for life. Anyway, I know she's in paradise now, because Jesus promised that those who believe in Jesus' name and confess Him with their mouth will be saved. I guess we're pretty lucky that our mother and father, they both were Christian, and Chris and all of her siblings were Christian, and Uncle Glenn was Catholic. But you have to follow what you believe, what your heart believes. So, as long as you believe in Jesus Christ and confess that you are saved, that's all we should hear. Didn't always agree with my sister about things, but I don't recall her ever saying that the cross were places I'm not aware of. I'm not aware of anybody that didn't like her either, which is kind of amazing. So if you measure a person's life by the friend, the quality and the success of a person's life by the quality by the friends that they make along the way, my sister was one of the most successful people I know. And I'm glad that she's been visited. I gathered her as she, even though she was my mother's second child, I always thought of her as the first born because she had a lot of characteristics of a first born child. Sure. So was my wife.
I'm going to start with a funny little story. When we were young and lived in Los Gatos, Aunt Pris had been in Hong Kong for a while, and when she came back, she was going to come over to visit us, and she was coming up over from Santa Cruz, and we were all excited. We went out, and we're waiting on the street on Bruce Avenue. We're looking down and seeing, is Aunt Pris coming up yet? Is she coming up yet? And then finally we got a call. She had gone off the road and went into a cliff, over a cliff, and was caught in a redwood tree in her Volkswagen. And if she hadn't been caught in this tree, she would have gone down to the bottom of the ravine. And we were horribly disappointed that she didn't come and stay the night. And we went to bed, and luckily in the morning, she had arrived later after we had gone to sleep, and we played dogpile on Aunt Pris. I remember my great-grandmother's sister, Tante Cécile, maybe 100 years ago. She went to China as a single lady. And I'm sure that was part of my aunt's inspiration as a young woman. She went overseas to Paris, to down all the way to Uruapan, Michoacan, in central Mexico. It was a 48-hour drive to drop me off where I was going to work teaching English. And of course, that eventually led to me marrying my wife, Esperanza, and all kinds of other complications. Now, my aunt couldn't be persnickety. If you went over to her house and you were drinking from a glass of water and you put it on her table without a coaster underneath, watch out. And if you were one of the many people who got to stay at her house because you were recovering from some problem or situation, I had a hernia operation, my brother had some issues with ataxia, and several other people stayed there for different reasons. Don't take a shower that's longer than 3 minutes if you didn't want to hear about it afterwards, because you were wasting water. But if you got beyond some of her stubborn, persnickety elements, then there was a sense of love and a sense of belonging and family, and those are some of the values that I picked up. Family, faith, love for the needy. And one of the last things that Aunt Pris said, and this was shared by one of the caretakers, Martha, who's here. I was taking care of Aunt Pris in the last few days. She heard Aunt Pris tell Andy, "Thanks for being by my side during all this time." And Uncle Andy responded and said, "I love you, sweetheart, and wherever you are, I'll meet you when my time comes." She enjoyed life to the fullest, and through life's journey, she touched many souls, and she sang even to the last week of her life. If anybody brought a guitar or played the piano, she'd join in with gusto, and according to the choir director, would sing louder than some of the people here in the choir itself. And now she's let go. Her work here on earth is finished. May she rest in peace. And my brother Mark said if I used any of his words, I had to give credit. So Mark inspired me on some of what I have shared.
To simply say that Aunt Pris was a good person would be selling her short, because she was so much more than just good. Aunt Pris was one of a kind, full of life and always ready to share it with anyone she met. Aunt Pris was compassionate, unselfishly willing to help those less fortunate than her, and many times opened up her home to those who needed a place to stay. Aunt Pris was family-oriented. She enjoyed family get-togethers and rarely missed a birthday or wedding. Aunt Pris was accepting of others. No matter what your cultural, religious, or political background, she was non-judgmental and open to learning what you were willing to share. Aunt Pris was forgiving and understanding when we made mistakes. She continued to show her unconditional love no matter how bad the mistake was. Aunt Pris was a teacher, and not only did she travel the world teaching English, but she also taught my mother and a few others here at home. My brother and I were also fortunate enough to be taught by my aunt, spending every Monday at her house when we were homeschooled for 3 years. I will forever remember and hold dear to my heart all the trips she took us on and the time she spent molding our little minds, not only academically, but also through music and art. Aunt Pris helped shape us into the adults we are today. Aunt Pris was adventurous and stubborn. She was always ready to take part in new adventures, no matter how crazy they sounded. I asked her once, recently, if she had played sports in high school, and her response to me was, "No, I wasn't allowed because I had a hole in my heart." So that summer, after graduation, I packed my bags and climbed past home. And apparently, she did this after a night out dancing with the girls. I guess the mystery is solved as to where I get my stubbornness from. Aunt Pris was strong spiritually, emotionally, and physically. loving, always ready to give fair hugs, but most important, Aunt Pris always had a way to make you feel better, offering words of love and wisdom on the days you needed to hear them the most. Not because that's what a great aunt should do, but because she truly cared and wanted to make you feel better. No matter how prepared we think we are, knowing someone will not be here any longer, it still hurts to think I won't be able to see her again. However, I wouldn't trade the pain for anything because it has been an honor knowing such a beautiful person. Aunt Pris left us physically, but she also left us with an abundance of memories and an incredible testimony on how to go about our daily lives. I will end by encouraging you all to take the testimony our beloved Aunt Pris as a lifetime building and honor her memory by continuing to love, teach, forgive, accept, and show compassion to others. Aunt Pris, I love you, and you will be missed.
These three speakers before knew Anne, actually when she was Priscilla, but they also knew her their whole lives. I'm one of Andy Sermersheim's three daughters, and we didn't know her till we had already grown up. And you might be interested to know how Anne and Andy met. They were in a choral group that Paul Page ran, who had been the choir director before. And each of them were going to, this whole group was going to Oberammergau to the Passion play. And my mother had died just a little while earlier, and she had been ill for many, many years. And he had taken care of us four kids and my mom, and was really looking forward to traveling. So he took this trip with the choral group. Now, I guess like Father John, my dad is a much better photographer than a singer. And so at the choral group, he took a lot of pictures. And it was a good thing because on the day before the trip left, Anne's husband died. And she remained here for his services and funeral. And so everybody else went on the trip. And when they returned, my dad went and showed her the pictures of the trip. And it was from that conversation, those conversations about traveling and all the desires she had to continue to travel as she had as a young girl, as you've heard about. And my dad's desires, since he had stopped traveling after the Navy to take care of us, they realized they were meant for each other. And not too long after they married, and we were so happy that Daddy had somebody who wanted to travel with him. And they went everywhere. They went to so many continents and countries. They were in Norway and Sweden and Germany and Casablanca and Hawaii even with us, and Australia. And they took a trip down the Mississippi River, and they saw the leaves on the East Coast, and they went to Alaska. And we were always so happy that my dad had such a great traveling companion. But we didn't know that an added bonus of being part of Anne's family was the worldwide friendships that she had here in the choir and in the church, but everywhere. As David said, she made friends forever. And for my dad, who had just worked and taken care of family for so long, branching out with all these friends was a wonderful, wonderful blessing, and we're so glad about it. But there's one more thing. The most amazing addition that Anne brought to our Sermersheim family was this wide, large, diverse family that she had. The nieces and nephews that she cared so much about. We constantly heard about their successes, their graduations, their marriages, their kids' graduations. It was tell us about one or the other of them and how much she cared for them, and we could tell that in every way. And they were always so excited to go to another wedding or a baptism or see another baby. That really added to our little family, the Sermersheim, so much. And I can say for my dad and for my sisters and my brother who has already passed, that having Anne and all her worldwide friends and family has enriched our life. And in these past few months, when Anne was ill, I never even heard of, let alone saw, a more attentive set of family members and friends who came and sang and played guitar and music and visited every other day, sometimes every day. And they didn't just visit Anne, they visited my dad too, and it really gave us a lot of solace. And we know that you will continue to be great friends and family of us and my dad, and I thank you all, and we bless Anne, and we have our blessings that Anne is a part of our family, and you are too. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristi, for giving us that, just a whole overview of the life. And I also want to thank Claire, Andy,